Hey, every daddy watching this, anyone that's followed my story, I need you to understand that on the 15th of April 2022, my son was taken out of my life after 10 beautiful years on an allegation that I'd smashed through the door. Now, I need you to just picture the scene. I arrive at the property, which was my apartment. The reason I've arrived at my apartment is to move my son and his mother to their beautiful new home that has been refurbished for them. As I showed you on previous text, she texted me on the 12th to say the house is ready. On the 14th, I got all the lads to pick up the stuff from storage, and then I was going to take them from my house because they'd been living in my flat for 6 months while the house was refurbished. I'd actually lived at my mum and dad's. My priority was always my son and the mother. As long as they're happy and safe, and by living at my place, my son carries on at school, there's no issue in the delay. The house was ready. So I turn up on the 15th of April 2022. I knock on the door. There's no answer. I knock on the door. There's no answer. I shout, "Mummy," my son's name. No answer. Concerning, I open the door with my door key, as I've done 100,000 times. I walk in the flat, we have a chat, we're having a cup of tea, and then the police walk in. My son has never seen police. There's never been any allegation against me. There's never been any mention of anything about nothing but being an amazing dad. Now, we were then separated, me and the mother. And when I come back into the room, the police said, right, there's been an allegation that you smashed through the door. I said, on police body cam, what are you talking about? The door's right there in front of you. There's nothing wrong with the door. He said, I know, but the allegation's been made, so we need to arrest you in front of my son. And despite me clearly showing the door, I'm arrested because the allegation has been made. So I just want you to understand, people, that is the only allegation that has ever been made against me. I was then put in cells till midnight, and I got home at 1 a.m. When as soon as I awoke, I took 24 images of the door, because I'd then been questioned by police about smashing through a door. I'd simply opened the door with my key. Now, I'm about to show you the evidence used in court, bearing in mind that single charge on allegation on the 15th of April was made. My bail conditions when I left the police stations were, don't worry, Mr. Dean, this is not affecting your contact with your son. And the bail conditions were normal child contact. Let's not forget that. I can't contact the mother. I need a third party to contact the mother. That's it. I've never heard, seen or spoken to my son since that day. She has completely ignored the bail conditions. I have spoken to the police for 6 months. They said there's nothing, they can't force her to do anything. So that meant nothing. And it's now been 2 years, 3 months since I heard, saw, or spoke to my son based on the allegation that I smashed through the door. Now, I've told you all along, all I did was open the door with my key. And today, I'm going to show you the evidence a year later that was used in criminal court against me for smashing through a door. Now, firstly, I want you to picture the allegation. The allegation was I smashed through the door. I need you all to picture that. You're going to imagine doors off hinges, locks broken. My door had 3 locks. A deadlock, a normal lock, and then that little chain lock. But in my flat, that little chain lock had never worked because it didn't have the end on it. So we always used the deadlock and the bottom lock for 10 years. Okay. When she moved in for 6 months, that's how she locked the door. Deadlock, the chain was never used. Anyway, here is the evidence used in January 2023 after I hadn't heard, seen or spoken to my son for 9 months. I'm going to show you the evidence right now that was used in court. Here it is. Smashing through the door. This is the evidence provided. Here it is. Okay, so now I'm going to show you my evidence that I provided in defence that I never smashed through any door. I simply used my front door key. And here is my evidence provided against that evidence. Now, you also have to understand that the police pursued me and charged me with this offence because they had a witness. But what people don't understand is that witness helped me, because the police's own witness confirmed that he heard me knock on the door twice, he heard me shout mummy, he heard me shout my son's name, and then he heard us talking in the flat. He also admitted at no point did he hear any doors being kicked through, and the police had never mentioned that a door had been kicked through. There was never heard anything like that. Now, I need you to understand, obviously, based on her evidence against my evidence in a criminal court, not a family court, this is a criminal charge, I was found not guilty of anything. And I need you to understand, people, of course I was found not guilty. It clearly showed a false allegation. Yet, because I'd used evidence that her solicitors were not aware of, which were the images of the door, she is now allowed to make a plea on behalf of my son's mother. The solicitor is now allowed to make a plea on behalf of my son's mother. And that was a pre-written plea, which simply wrote, I need the judge to be aware if Mr. Dean is found not guilty of any offence there, I need you to understand that me and my son are now living in fear in Worcester. We are scared of any car that turns up, any door that opens. So this plea is based now on fear, based on a false allegation. I'm standing there not guilty. She read the plea. My son and his mother are now living in fear for no reason. Clearly, I've just been shown I'm not guilty. And the judge in criminal court then says, okay, Miss Dean, what we're going to do, based on the plea, is we're going to find you not guilty of any offence, but we're going to put a 2-year restraining order on you contacting the mother and your son for preventative reasons only. And they will hand it to the family court and they can sort it out. To this date, I have been abused by Kafkas, abused by the family court, and it's now 2 years, 3 months since I heard or spoke to my son, and I have a 2-year restraining order on me issued in a criminal court for preventative reasons only. And the reason that was done is these days, dads, no judge in the land wants to take responsibility. So a criminal court can put a restraining order on you for preventative reasons, but what it's really saying is that judge has no responsibility to your actions after that case. They hand it to another court. In other words, if I left that courtroom and went and, shouted and done anything to my son and mum, that judge would be responsible. So rather than that, they put a 2-year restraining order on me and then passed me into the madness of family courts. So, if you believe that a daddy should lose his entire 10-year beautiful life with his son based on that evidence, if Kafkas believe this, if the family courts believe this, this is why I want to stand in London. This is why I want to have thousands of dads together. And this is why the system is so broken. It is disgusting. It's now 2 years, 3 months since I heard or spoke to my son based on that false allegation.
If you like Deano stories and you want more, and you've got stories of your own that you want told, get in contact and we can sort something out.